morning as I sat at my desk, usually what I do to start a Friday is I have what I think of as a leadership team meeting. If you know me and you know anything about my business, you know me is the leadership team right here. Occasionally the dog participates, but even today you can see she's not back there. She didn't join. So today, on the Friday of a crazy week, I thought, I don't really have time for this. And then I stopped and thought, but I have to. Leadership team meetings are important. They're maybe the most important hour I spend all week. So I made myself sit down and have my meeting. And I want to tell you a little bit about it because if you're not having leadership meetings in your business, you should be. They're really important because they help you to set out what you're doing. It helps you intentionally think and step back from your business. It does wonders for me and my headspace and my work. I actually have so many things going on in my house full of kids and husband and the rest today that I legitimately had my leadership meeting in the car in my garage with nothing on. That's where it was quiet. So have your leadership meeting wherever you like, but get your notebook and let's have one. So here is how mine works. When I have a leadership meeting on Friday mornings, the first thing I do is shake all the clutter out of my brain. Like I get a piece of paper and I write down all the stuff. This morning it was a mix of business things, ideas I have for clients, things I'm thinking about posting, things I want to teach people, why I want to teach them, things I think some of my clients are worrying about that they shouldn't be, and things they're not worrying about that they might be needing to. All kinds of stuff. And then I remembered my car needs an oil change and I have to think about what the heck we're going to do this weekend to make Saturday and Sunday different from the week since we're not going anywhere. There was a long list of things on just like rattle around your head, like what's for dinner if everything's closed? How do I help my son survive pizza night without his beloved favorite food? So the first thing I do is empty it all out because otherwise I just can't concentrate. And I feel like that's probably true for you. There's a lot going on. It's time to write it all down. It's okay. You don't have to judge what comes out. I had some special stuff fall out of my brain. But it's nice to have it out and get it on paper. In the second part of my leadership meeting, agenda item 2, as I think of it, I think about what I learned this week. So this morning I sat down and at the top of my page I wrote, what did I learn this week? And I stared at it for a while because I thought that I like leaving the house. But that's not what I'm going to write down. I learned some really important things this week, and I think so did my clients, and I learned from them. I learned that we survive everybody being home. We have all made it to Friday. Was it pretty all the time? No. But we have enough resilience and skills and confidence and have done enough work on our mindsets to make it through this. I learned that I have some teaching skills that needed to be brought out into my coaching business to help some of my clients navigate the world of life with their children. And that's totally fine. I happen to have those in my pocket. So life as a teacher really showed up for me this week, being an ex-classroom person, when people were struggling with how to navigate all of those things all at once. I know how to do that. It also really, I think the other thing I learned is that people are still talking about coaching. They're still talking about buying and selling and doing all the things that we do in business. Nothing is closed on the internet. So stand up. People are still shopping. And if you haven't gotten out of your own way to that yet, now is the time. So have a little bit of a minute in your leadership meeting about it. The third agenda item in my leadership meeting every week is what do I want to do different next week? So I know for me, one of the things that I wrote down this morning was that it took me a couple of days to get back to I still have my business. We still have things to do. Took me a couple of days to get my schedule with the kids right and organize all of that. It just took me a while to wrap my head around it. I'm sure it took you a while. But I know next week I have it. So I'm going to implement it sooner, like Monday instead of Wednesday. I also learned this, differently. Sorry, I'm on different. There are other things in my business I would like to do differently next week. I know for me as a writer and somebody who shares a lot of posts, sometimes I get a little caught up in my own things I'm trying to talk myself into, and I stop talking to the people I serve. I start talking to myself, and I caught myself there this week. So next week I need to do a better job of talking to my clients instead of talking myself into stuff. We all do stuff like that. And sometimes you have to sit down and give yourself the time to catch it. If I wasn't having a leadership meeting, I wouldn't have known. And then the last thing I do in my leadership meeting is give myself, 20 minutes usually, maybe not even that long, to think about something that I really feel like would serve my business, a perspective usually. This week what I sat down and thought about was what my good friend Jen calls enoughness. Do I have enough? Am I enough? Am I doing enough? Are the things that I have to give enough for everyone I serve? It's useful to sit down when we're in the midst of panic and think about what's causing us drama in our heads and poke at it with a stick until it wiggles around until you go like, oh, there it is. So today, my 20 minutes of thinking was about being enough and about the value I bring. And I was reminded that the more I teach and the more I step into my shoes as an expert, the better I am. And so I realized that I hadn't taught anybody this week about leadership meetings. So here we are. So take some time today, or even tomorrow morning. Heck, we're all going to be home. It's Saturday. And give yourself time to have a leadership meeting. Schedule it into your book every week. It is a gift to give yourself in your business. It's okay if the only attendee is you. I'm the only one at mine. I kind of like these meetings. They're lovely. It is okay, because to be a leader, you have to act like one. To grow a business, you have to act like you have something to grow. And in order to do that, you need to be intentional. So, schedule a leadership meeting. Gather up your team, even if it's just you. Sit down, think for a bit, and be really intentional about your work. You will have a clearer week next week. Your head will feel better about with all the things swirling around in it, and you will have a cleaner perspective on what you do and why you do it. And there's nothing better than that at the end of the week or at the start of it. So do it on Monday, do it today, do it tomorrow, but do it. Okay? You have the time. It's worth it. I promise. Have a really good weekend. I'll see you guys all on Monday or in between, since we're all going to be here. If there's any way I can be of help to you as you work on your leadership meetings or in your businesses or on your businesses, please reach out. I'm happy to. I'm here. We're open.